having a stroke is a medical emergency. Sometimes we kind of put strokes and heart attacks on the same wavelength. With heart attacks, patients often experience excruciating pain. With strokes, pain is often not associated, but it can lead to disability and death. And so what I want patients to know is that stroke is a medical emergency. If you or someone around you think is having a stroke, they have to get to the emergency room immediately. Signs and symptoms of a stroke can vary from patient to patient. So what we teach the community is an acronym called BFAST. So the B stands for balance. So patients that have sudden onset dizziness, vision changes, feeling like the room is spinning, that can be a sign of a stroke. E stands for eyes, sudden changes. Again, it's always about sudden changes in these things. So sudden changes in vision, in peripheral vision, an inability to see out of one eye or the other, that can be a sign of a stroke. F stands for face. So if there's drooping of one side of the face or the other, if a patient can't smile equally and their face droops, that could be a sign of a stroke. A stands for arms, any arm weakness. So if we have a patient raise up their arms, they would be inability to move their arm, or one arm would be weaker than the other. S stands for speech, any garbled words, inability to speaking that doesn't sound correct, like it kind of sounds like maybe they have a thick tongue, or they're unable to name regular objects, those types of things. And then T kind of stands for two things. One for time, as in time to get to the hospital, time to call 911. The second is terrible headache. If a patient is having an absolutely terrible headache, that could be a sign of blood in the brain or a hemorrhagic stroke, a rare form of stroke, but can be a deadly one. So we always say to call 911. However, we recognize that folks that live in rural areas, calling 911, getting an ambulance to your home, and then getting to the hospital can be a length of time and can possibly delay care depending upon where those patients are located. So really our biggest thing is getting to the hospital as soon as possible. So if there is someone in your family or a neighbor or someone that can drive you to the hospital, that's okay. We want you to get here as soon as possible, because the quicker you get to our doors, the more likely we have available treatment options if you get here as quickly as possible. If you've delayed care, or if you've waited, you laid down and took a nap, or decided, oh, this isn't really any big deal, and your stroke has gone on long enough, our treatment options are limited at that point.